What's going on, everybody? This is Wi-Fi Willie, and I am going to break down exactly why I and many others think that the NFL could have targeted Gruden, and that this is a hit job, actually, from the NFL and Roger Goodell. We're just going to speculate on the timeline of everything that's happened so far, because most people really don't even know what has actually happened. So, June 2021. Gruden's name in emails redacted in a Washington football investigation. So in 2021 in June, this is when these emails were first, made available to the NFL supposedly, is during the Washington football team investigation into their employee conduct situation. That's when these emails were indirectly found, according to the NFL. And this is in June. The key thing is redacted, though. Gruden's name was redacted. It just said media personality is all it said. It did not say his actual name in these emails. What's interesting is some people believe, the leaks of the emails, on October 7th is just from the court findings, right? But according to the LA Times, it was redacted in court, and instead, Gruden's name was accidentally leaked. The NFL had these emails in court, and then went ahead and then just go ahead and removed the redaction and then sent it out there to leak to the New York Times in order for it to really hurt Jon Gruden. That's really what they wanted. At the end of the day, is they wanted Jon Gruden out. They wanted him to no longer be the coach of the Raiders. That's clear. And here's some more proof that we can show why Mark Davis might be facing some consequences. And we can also show more proof that the NFL totally did this by themselves. It wasn't some anonymous leaker of some whistleblower. The NFL straight up leaked this to the New York Times. So check this out. October 7th. This is the Thursday before the emails were leaked by, New York Times and everything. October 7th, Davis has admitted, and so has Jon Gruden, they have both said that emails were sent to the Raiders. The NFL sent the emails to the Raiders, all of what's been leaked so far. Those were all sent to the Raiders October 7th, and maybe many others. We actually don't know the extent to which emails were sent. Maybe there's a whole log of potential blackmail emails that were sent to the Raiders October 7th. And then Mark Davis didn't do anything. He didn't fire Gruden, didn't force him into any resignation. And if you were to look at the press conference October 8th in the morning that Gruden did, preparing for the Bears game on October 10th, Gruden seemed comfortable and confident. It seemed like he just didn't want to talk about it, and they're focused on the game. And I believe the NFL did not like that, and people like Roger Goodell did not like that. They're like, wow, they're really not going to give Gruden any consequences. So because Mark Davis didn't do anything October 8th, by the afternoon of October 8th, and didn't do anything October 7th when the emails were sent to them, and who knows, the emails could have been sent to the Raiders even before October 7th. We don't really know. But because they didn't do anything, then the DeMaurice Smith email was leaked. It was also leaked conveniently because DeMaurice Smith was up for a vote to retain his job as NFL Players Executive. Roger Goodell wanted DeMaurice Smith to be there as the NFL Players Executive because he has been there for over almost 12 years, okay? And he was the one who helped negotiate the contract in which NFL players were suckered into playing another game. Basically, they were suckered into playing a 17th game, risking their body, actually. So he was able to pull that off, so they definitely wanted to keep that guy around. And they leaked that email. Obviously, he won his vote to retain his job as NFL player executive. And it made him look good. It made him look like a victim, right? Right on October 8th. And hey, that put some pressure on Mark Davis with Jon Gruden. And here's the interesting thing. October 8th in the press conference, when Gruden seemed comfortable, he actually also mentioned that, hey, in this leak of email that happened October 8th with the DeMaurice Smith situation, Gruden mentioned there's some expletives at Roger Goodell too. That's also a part of it. So Gruden was kind of being ahead of the curve, indicating that, hey, this is about cursing and damning Roger Goodell, talking shit on Roger Goodell behind his back. That is what actually happened too, in addition to the DeMaurice Smith email October 8th. So Gruden was making people aware of that already, that this is personal. This is a personal thing. Here's the thing. So Mark Davis doesn't do anything, and it's kind of impressive. October 9th goes by. Saturday, nothing happens. Sunday, October 10th, nothing happens. And people on ESPN are calling for Gruden's head. They are actually trying to pressure Mark Davis through the media, people like Randy Moss, to do something. He stands by his coach. So shout out to him for doing that. And then October 11th, finally, once the league realized that Mark Davis really wasn't going to do anything, wasn't going to force his hand with Gruden, boom, the more emails are released, whatever the comments are. I actually have a separate video showing how hypocritical the NFL is with all these materials. It's obviously a double standard, and we're going to actually have a video going through what was actually said, because here's the thing. We don't know what was said. You really don't know what was said, because this is how it's been this whole entire time. These emails have only been hearsay. I mean, we have never even seen the email. No, there is no publicly available email. You cannot go and actually look at an email. You could only read an article from Washington Post or New York Times that reports on what was reported to them about the email. They basically just summarized what the NFL told them was in the email, what somebody told them was in the email. We don't even know the full email. We've never seen one. Nobody in the public has seen one and been allowed to. So, hey, they released more emails, and then Gruden's forced to resign amid all the pressure, obviously, because they knew by October 11th that they would continue releasing more emails, is basically it. They would keep on releasing more. Who knows, they have even more, maybe even more on Mark Davis. But the league is pissed at Mark Davis. You know, they're pissed that he didn't just get rid of his guy right away. And you already saw that post the other day where Mark Davis said, hey, and he says, hey, don't ask me, ask the NFL. They have all the answers. So, I mean, he doesn't seem like a happy guy, right? And then here's the thing. Right after all this, so October 11th, this is Monday. After the Bears game, the Raiders lose 2 in a row. Convenient time to get rid of Gruden, release more emails. He asked to resign. By the way, it's only 3 of 650,000 emails that have been released. So, I mean, you asked me whether or not you're skeptical about that. And here's the thing. Right after the NFL says there will be no investigations about this. It's over, basically. We're not going to release any more emails of that 650,000. We're also not going to even look into the rest of the Washington football team investigation, which this was all originally about, by the way. This is what it was all about. So no longer going to do it. If you don't believe me, just check out the Washington Post. So the investigation is closed. Gruden is out of a job. Gruden is forced out of a job for comments that most people would say were just, stereotype humor, private conversations with his friends too. That's also another thing. People have actually done and said things that are way worse publicly, yet Gruden does something privately. It is directly leaked by the NFL. The NFL sent these to the Raiders. The Raiders didn't do anything, and they were not public at this time. Then they sent them to the New York Times. Then they sent him to the Washington Post. And they let a little leak go out. Davis still doesn't do anything. And then, boom, they send some more. Davis has to pressure Gruden. Gruden probably just stepped down by himself because he knew that they blackmailed him and they would keep releasing more. So Raiders fans and NFL fans have to ask themselves, are you really okay with this? I mean, do you really trust the integrity of this football game when out of the blue, they can go and dig through some information, use an investigation that's supposed to be about another team, and bam, use it to target certain individual coaches in the NFL and remove them from a job and harm the Raiders season. The Raiders were 3-0, and then they lost 2 games. Who knows how often these stories have been in the background? Obviously, it was during the Bears game. And to think that didn't affect this game, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I think this is unfortunate. I think, even someone like me who's a diehard football fan for, over 20 years, I don't know if I'm actually going to watch the NFL anymore. I have to really think about that because I don't trust the integrity of this game at all. And I don't want to keep giving money to a corporation that is just going to wrongfully terminate employees because they dislike them, because they make fun of them in private. I mean, to me, I think that's wrong. I think that's really wrong. And I think people should look into this more. We're going to be looking into this more in this channel. So make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see live streams, longer content, some content that I take off, and obviously more exclusive content, behind the scenes stuff, go ahead and check out my Patreon at Wi-Fi Willie Pro Football, Patreon Wi-Fi Willie Football. And I'll talk to you guys soon.